right, guys. As you guys should know, we're at the phase of deploying our new development environment. And before we do that, we wanted to get together and talk about some of what you guys want and what we're going to need out of this solution.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Jonathan, for setting the stage here. So, guys, very simple, right? I'm looking for something where we can address access management. And we also want to talk about security. And then we want to make sure we get the right content. Anything else I'm missing?
Scale out storage.
Scale out storage. Okay, good point. Right. So, all right. Anything else? All right. So, guys, we need to start contributing more. Let me give you a scenario here. So, obviously, you guys know we have a team here in Irving. We have a team in Canada. We have a team in India. We also have a team in China. So I want to make sure that all the folks in different regions have same access levels and have the access to our infrastructure so they can actually do their deployments and training and stuff like that. So with that said, can I get some feedback as to how we're going to make sure that these different regions have the appropriate access to our systems?
Yeah, all we really need to do is just set down a replication server near them and then we should be fine.
Yeah, just use the point-to-point protocol.
I'm having a difficult time understanding how we can tie this thing to what we're trying to do here. I just feel like we're not quite communicating. We're not quite collaborating at the level what I want to see. So speak up, guys. I need some more ideas here.
You know what? We need to learn to listen to each other a little better. We need to get together. We need to do some team building. How about we take a break? Let's go jam.
Jam.
Yes.
Thanks for coming out today. We're looking forward to having you play and track and record. This is Jason here. He's going to be producing as well, so just looking forward to having you guys out and just hit the drums, play the bass. I think it's going to be really rad. Just have fun, make mistakes, laugh.
My role in the company, I actually manage our sales. I manage my accounting. I also have direct responsibility for our service delivery. And I also have responsibility for our product management and product development. So, and that's one aspect of it. And the second aspect of this is we're an organization, there are about 50 people, and we are spread globally, which means I got a team here in Dallas area, I got a team in Canada, I got a team in India, I got a team in China. So one of the critical components of how we can build this cohesive environment, cohesive enterprise rather, is how do you basically have an effective communication process that will allow us to have that seamless exchange of information between different groups across different geographies, not just that, but across different departments. And that's sort of an internal view. Now you put this thing in the context of an external, from a client view, we have so many different clients that we manage and deliver our services. So it could just become an overwhelmingly difficult task. The success for managing an enterprise like this is having an effective process, effective management structure, and ultimately making sure we have a seamless engine that allow us to have these different groups, different departments, different entities communicate properly.
Each morning I get up, I die a little, can barely stand on my feet. Take a look in the mirror and cry, Lord, what you doing to me? I've spent all my years believing.
Sometimes when a client brings you what you think is a simple project, it turns out to be a lot harder than you were expecting. For instance, we were handed a rather simple concept. Let's test your phone system. 8,000 calls for about 20 minutes. Easy enough, well, what we thought. But through a process of trial and error, asking a lot of questions, we learned what the customer's requirements and limitations were, leading us to build a successful project for our client.
Okay, to me, requirement gathering phase is the most important phase of the project because that's where the foundation is laid. It's very important to get a clear understanding of the requirements to prevent any scope creep going forward. So I believe in one-on-one meeting with the clients to get a very clear understanding of the requirements and communicating back if there are any issues or any questions.
There are a lot of things to consider, and there's a whole lot that goes into anything of this thing, in a project of any sort of size or magnitude. That's like what happened to one of our projects. But if anyone wants to be sure that they can really seriously pull this off successfully, then they better not do this alone. I mean, you can, but you'll probably miss something. That's the whole point of having your team together. Talk to your team. Talk to the networking team. Talk to everyone on the project. Talk to the customer if you can, and run that list of programs by them. Run everything by everyone. The more people who have eyes on it, the better and more precise that you think. The more precisely that you'll be able to hit your target goals. And that's what we did on one of our projects, and we were able to meet our objectives.
Somebody, can anybody find me somebody to know?
We had a client who was having issues on their production system in their environment, which we haven't come across in our lab while testing. Finally, we had a big challenge trying to implement that in our lab, to replicate that in our lab. So with a lot of teamwork and everything, we tried to achieve it. And yeah, we have done that.
The project was going nowhere. There was no proper documentation. There was no project methodologies. There was no proper ticketing system. So the requirements used to change on a fly. There is no change request that's coming from. And it was chaos. And finally, being the project manager, I synced with the project manager of the client and made sure that we had a proper project methodology and then proper ticketing system. And the client was very reluctant to follow that because there were different things that's in the client place, like firewalls, which were preventing them from getting access into the whole different tools that we offered. And then we used to do it manually, and we used to conduct meetings and sync with the client project managers, developers, and make sure that we capture the requirements and we commonly agree upon the delivery dates and target dates, talk regularly, and make sure that the project is delivered. And I think we are going to deliver this project in the next 15 days, and that was a huge challenge for us. I think this is a great project to deliver with all these obstacles, and I think we succeeded.
So we had this one client that basically they needed to integrate with third-party software. And they already had one approach in mind that they wanted us to evaluate, and it would involve some rather expensive hardware, and we found that that just not only was not reliable, but the solution itself didn't get them what they needed. And so, because we have strived to have good communication with our clients, we were able to not only honestly tell them that this approach is not going to work, but we were able to go back, discuss with them what it is that their agents were actually needing, when they take a call, and figure out a more simplified, more easy to implement solution that didn't require purchasing of any extra hardware.
There's a lot of talk and responsibilities when you're doing multiple projects, and with tough delivery schedules, with tough resources, and trying to get resources allocated in the proper manner, meeting the customer needs. And key to all of that is good communication skills.
We had a client that spec'd us for a like-to-like upgrade, but upon talking to the business units manager, found that they were expecting a little bit more added functionality out of the new system. So through facilitating communication between the client and their own business units manager, I was able to come up with a solution that entailed additional functionality and met the tight deadline that was required for in the like-for-like. I was able to achieve everyone's goals and meet a solution that was satisfactory to both parties.
Once had a project where we came into this project knowing the requirements were going to be X, Y, and Z. We spent like a week prepping for this project, and we just figuring out all these requirements, digging into them, and then when it was time to finally start the project, the requirements, they were more like A, B, and C. They were completely different. They had nothing, they were not even closely related to each other. So we could have just panicked, but instead of panicking, we had to adapt to our new situation. And by adapting, we had to basically begin to communicate a lot.
We have a customer that we've had a long-standing relationship with, and there was a transitionary period a while back where we rolled out a couple of deployments which caused a few outages and really damaged the client confidence. So we came together as a team and pulled in multiple teams from all over the company, the testing team, the development team, as well as the management team, and asked each of them in turn to provide their feedback on how we could, as a team, improve our process. And so we listened to each perspective individually, came together and tailored a new process from everybody's input, and we created an entire new end-to-end testing pattern, development process, and deployment strategy. And once we pulled that together and proposed it to the client was really astounded. We succeeded so much producing our deliverables on time and in such quality that after that, the only thing left to do was communicate with the client and ask them what was their perspective, how did they feel like we could improve. And so we did that, got a lot of positive feedback from the client, really listened to them and what they wanted their role to be in our relationship.
Now, how do we sort of take this real life experience and put this into perspective where it really means something for the team, and we can look at that, draw upon those experiences and build something that will help us to grow and help us to become so much more effective in our delivery. And I have to say, this is almost a blessing experience in a way that, not just for me, for the entire organization, and now I can see the morale of the entire team is so much elevated. Just the fact that we've done something that is almost unthinkable, unimaginable, and I can almost say for myself that I would cherish this experience for my lifetime, and I hope that I've given this same experience to my team, and in doing so, ultimately, we learned something, and the critical, the lesson here is communication, listening, and then understand, and then improvise.